when night falls. Seoul is not one of them. On the 37th parallel, in the heart of the Korean peninsula, 10 million souls refuse the dark. From the glass towers of Gangnam to the ancient tiled rooftops of Bukchon, Seoul is the only city on earth where 1,000 years of history glows inside a single night. But few who stand beneath these lights understand how recently the darkness was absolute. 70 years ago, there was nothing here. War had swallowed everything. Every road, every roof, every dream. On the ashes of total destruction, Seoul was reborn. This is the story of that miracle. June 25th, 1950. Before dawn, artillery fire broke the silence. North Korean forces, armed and emboldened by the Soviet Union, crossed the 38th parallel. Within 3 days, Seoul had fallen. The city burned. For 3 years, the peninsula bled. United Nations forces arrived. Chinese troops poured across the border. The front lines lurched back and forth across the same exhausted land. Seoul changed hands 4 times. When the armistice was signed on July 27, 1953, there was almost nothing left to govern. The numbers are staggering. Before the war, Seoul's population stood at roughly 1.5 million. Afterward, fewer than 600,000 remained. More than 80% of the city's infrastructure had been destroyed. No electricity, no running water, no roads worthy of the name. The international community looked at this shattered country and saw little reason for hope. Some economists declared with confidence that Korea would not recover within a century. The Korean people did not agree. With bare hands, they laid bricks. They drained rice paddies and raised buildings. They worked through the night because there was no time to waste. A song spread across the nation, Yal Salabos. Let us live well. And slowly, Seoul began to rise. The story of Seoul, told in numbers, reads like fiction. When the Joseon dynasty chose this valley as its capital in 1394, the city held perhaps 100,000 people. Centuries passed. Colonial rule came and went. By the 1940s, the population had barely crossed 1 million. Then the war ended, and something extraordinary happened. The Han River miracle, Korea's economic transformation, pulled millions from the countryside into the capital. By 1960, Seoul had 2.4 million people. By 1970, 5.4 million. By 1980, 8.4 million. In 1990, the city crossed 10 million for the first time in its history. Today, Greater Seoul, the city and its surrounding metropolitan area, is home to approximately 25 million people. On just 0.6% of the Korean peninsula's landmass, half the nation's entire population has gathered to live, work, and build. By any measure of modern urban history, this is without parallel. A single photograph tells the story better than any argument could. Viewed from space at night, the Korean peninsula is divided not just by a border, but by light itself. To the south, Seoul burns at the center of a constellation of cities. To the north, there is almost nothing. Darkness from the border to the sea. In 1953, North and South Korea stood at nearly identical starting points. In some respects, the North held an advantage. Japanese industrial infrastructure remained in the northern territories. The two halves of one people faced the same devastated present and the same uncertain future. But they made different choices. North Korea chose a closed communist system. Individual freedom was extinguished. markets were shuttered. The doors to the world were locked and bolted. Today, North Korea's estimated GDP per capita hovers around $1,800. South Korea chose democracy and a free market economy. Today, South Korea's GDP per capita exceeds $35,000. In a single generation, two nations sharing the same blood, the same language, and the same ruins produced a 20-fold difference in prosperity. History is not subtle in its verdict. Freedom builds. Isolation destroys. Now let us walk into the night. Seoul, after dark, is a different city. Or rather, several different cities layered one upon another. We begin where the city itself begins, at its highest visible point. Seoul Tower rises from the crown of Namsan Mountain, 479 meters above sea level. The tower itself adds another 236 meters to that height. From the observation deck, Seoul unfolds in every direction. A 360-degree panorama of light that stretches to the mountains, ringing the city's edge. The Han River curves through the middle of it all like a ribbon of dark mirror, reflecting 1,000 fires. Around the tower's perimeter, millions of padlocks cling to iron railings, each one placed by lovers who came to this mountain and promised each other forever. On nights when the city mist softens the lights below, those padlocks catch the glow, and the whole mountain seems to shimmer. Seoul's great artery, the Han River, is more than a geographical feature. It is the city's living room. On summer,